So the question that I want to look at in this video is why movement should happen at all. Why are there any cases in which the language faculty decides to use this operation of internal merge? And the answer, at least the hypothesis, is that movement occurs as a last resort operation. That is, movement only happens when forced. And this is going to be massively important to what we discuss about the minimalist program. This is also a radical departure from the theory that we've been developing. Although we haven't talked specifically about move alpha, I think I mentioned it once or twice, but this is essentially just the formal generalization about the operation that underlies WH movement, and really movement of all kinds within the principles and parameters approach. And the formulation was essentially move something somewhere. Move something somewhere. And so the idea, I'll just say P and P here, P and P. So the idea within the principles and parameters approach was that we have this operation, move alpha, that operates upon our phrase structure, and this operation basically can do whatever it wants to do. I mean, it's subject to, principles and parameters. So, for example, the subject has to move to the specifier of TP in order to check case, but the operation that moves it there, move alpha, is just able to do that no problem. It's totally free. Whereas in the minimalist program, movement only happens when forced. It's an operation of last resort. So this notion of forced, it's not very well defined. So we should ask the question, what forces movement? And the answer to that is legibility conditions. So legibility conditions force movement. And so legibility conditions, remember this model that we looked at a couple of videos ago, where we have the computational system or recursion. So recursion that interfaces with, on the one hand, the sensory motor system and the conceptual intentional system. And recall also that the main idea underlying the minimalist program is the fact that we can reduce as much as possible what's contained within the language faculty. And we can derive language properties from these more general cognitive systems. And so these legibility conditions are kind of the formal implementation of that main drive of the minimalist program. So the idea is that the interfaces, and in particular the conceptual intentional interfaces, imposes certain conditions on the representations that the language faculty sends to it.